Hi everyone, in this lecture we are going to create our questions. Alright, so the first real thing that we do with this application is to create questions. But before creating those, I need to grab whatever it is that we want from our HTML file. So I'm just going to click on this window and I'm going to remove the app.js from there. So I need to show you what it is that I'm grabbing. So let's remove 1, 2, 3 from there. So first off, let's create a const. I want to grab our start button because these are the things, these are the elements, all of these we need in JavaScript to apply some sort of functionality or to do something with it. So let's say document dot query. So I will try to be like quick because this is very simple. This is the start button, all right? And the next is going to be the quiz and then the question. So let's grab the start and let's change it to quiz. The next one is going to be our question. Okay, that is incorrect. Question. All right. So we have successfully grabbed our start button, start div, the question div, the quiz div, and the question. The next thing that I want to grab is all of our answer choices, and I want to store them all answer choices. And all these are actually these 4 answer choices, all answer choices. And I want to say document dot query selector all right? And I'm going to grab them by their class, which is dot choice. All right, so the next thing that I want to do is I want to grab them individually as well, because I want to apply an event listener on all of them. And I want to apply an event listener on each of them individually. When the user clicks, I want to run it against the correct answer. And I want to know for sure if that answer that the user has clicked is actually the correct answer or the incorrect answer. So I'm going to create another const. And I'm going to call it answer choice A. So this is going to be answer choice A. This is going to be, let's, you know what, copy this, put it right here, and it has an ID of A. So let's copy it 3 times. Let's grab this A. Let's grab this A. Let's change it to B. Change this to B. Change this to C. Oops. To C. Let's grab this A. Change it to C. Grab this one D. And we are changing it to D. So we have selected all of our answer choices. The only 2 things remaining are the timer, all right? Actually 3 things. We need to get our timer, progress container, and score container. So to be able to get those, what I'm going to do is I'm going to grab this and I'm going to paste it right here. And I'm going to change the start to counter. And so what is the class name for the counter? The class name for the counter is actually counter itself. So let's say counter, right? And let's create it 2 more times. The next thing that I want to grab is going to be time gauge, all right? And the class for that is time gauge itself. Let's copy the class name, put it right here. And after that, what I want to grab is going to be the progress, and then we are going to grab the score div, the score container, which we are going to save it inside the score div. So let's grab this one. I'm just going to call it progress, all right? And the class for this is progress container. Let's put it right here. I should probably call it progress container. All right, so this is progress container. And finally, we are going to have our score div. Or score, we could call it container. It is better. It's a better name. Score container, and let's change it to, this container is the same. Let's just convert it to score. So we have selected everything that we needed here, all right? The next thing that I want to do is our questions. Let's create our questions. Now we do not need these 2 panes here. I think if I remove this Let's open it once more. I'm not really comfortable doing this multi-window thing. I've never done it. I just wanted to do in this lecture. These are our questions. Now, there is something that I should mention here, that these questions, this is not a proper way of doing it. The proper way of doing it is that these questions, they're either going to come in through a different platform, through an API, or they're going to be fed through a certain database. And the questions, they're going to be there, and each time any user logs into their account, they're going to see a different set of questions with a different set of background images for those questions. But for the purposes of this front-end application that we are building inside JavaScript, we are going to create the questions, and we are going to mimic a database inside the JavaScript itself. So I'm going to say let questions, right? And I'm going to create an array, and inside this array we are going to have 10 objects. Each of the objects is going to have our question as a key. The value is going to be the question string itself. Then we have the question image, our 4 choices, and then the correct. I'm going to create the first object, and I'm going to copy paste the rest of them. So what is the question? The question is going to have a key of question itself, and the answer is going to be inside these quotes, and we're going to say how many. I'm not going to type it. You know what? I'm not going to type it out. So this is our very first question. This is where you can change the questions. And this is where you can increase or decrease the number of questions that you want. There is a problem with this application. This is not actually a problem. This is something that whenever you work with a front-end application, this is something that you're bound to have. All right, you're going to have it. All right, so this is the what I've done is I've just right click on the page, and I'm saying view page source, and this is the HTML. So here is the JavaScript app.js, and if I click on it, we can see our entire JavaScript code for this application. But the problem is that we can see our questions and our correct answer as well. That's why we never want to do this. We never want to store sensitive information in the front end. Like imagine if you created a Facebook account or a YouTube account, or like not a YouTube, like an Instagram or Twitter account, and your password username would have been saved in the view page source, and everyone could have used every other person's like identity. That would have been like really messy, right? That's why we store these sort of confidential information on the server, and server is somewhere the user can never access unless they hack it. All right, so this is our first key value pair. The next one is going to be question img. Make sure to spell it correctly, question img. And we are going to provide it with the path. So the path is, the images, they're inside the image folder, and the number is 1.jpg. It throws an error here because there is no comma here. Let's add another comma. Now we have our choice A. This is the answer, choice A. It is 100. Then we go to choice, you know what? Let's just copy it. So for the choice B, we are going to have 150. For choice C, we are going to have 10. Okay, this is C and this is D. This is going to be 27. And the final key value pair that we are going to have is going to be correct answer. Now here is where we will insert our correct answer, which is 100. And whenever we run, this is where we are going to run this. Whenever we run this event listener, it is going to grab our correct answer, and it is going to evaluate it against whichever choice the user has clicked. If these two strings, they are equal, then it is going to, that little box is going to turn green. If they're not equal, it means it's wrong, then that box is going to turn red. And we have created our very first object, and I'm going to grab the rest of the objects, and I'm going to paste them down here because this is very tedious and time consuming. These are basically all the same. So we have our correct answer here. We have our choice D, C, B, A, question image, and question itself. So we have created our questions. I'm going to collapse all of the questions, and I'm going to keep either the first one or the last one, doesn't really matter, because we are going to access the values from this object, the properties of this object, and I need to have one of these shown on the screen. This is going to be it for this lecture. In the next lecture, we are going to continue building this massive application.